All right, good morning, Craps fans. This is Scott from Paradise Craps, back in my crappy office here from our week-long trip on Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. Beautiful ship. They're the world's largest ship at the moment, and the latest in their Oasis class, which we love the Oasis class. And this one is definitely different, unique. They added some really nice features on this one. Happy New Year to everybody. It is New Year's morning. So there is that. Hoping everybody had a great 2022 and wishing everybody a crappy 2023. Not in a good way, though, not in a bad way. All right. I wanted to erase my board. All right. So we're going to get rid of the 30-day challenge that we did and try something new. So, trip report. All right. So, Wonder of the Seas. They have smoking and non-smoking sides. They have 2 craft tables. Normally they're $10 a piece. That last session I was at, they were somehow the board was set to the little digital display was set to $5, which one of the players was more than happy to point out, and they said they would honor it because normally you don't see $5 on Royal, only on Carnival. Anyway, so smoking side was open quite a bit. I don't know what their hours were. Non-smoking side, I did go one time and they had 2 dealers there. Still had the plastic box on the chips, but they were, quick enough to open it up and let me play a session there. So I was happy about that. I was very unhappy, and it started immediately in my first session, with the inconsistency in their rules and how they, different dealers implemented those rules. So basically they said the $52 lay 4 that I've been rolling out at home here was not a proper bet, not a proper lay bet. So it had to be in increments of $5 more if I wanted to play that. So, $50, really $10, $50, $60, had to be in increments of 5, couldn't be in increments less than the 5. So 52 was not a proper bet. Went back and forth with the first set of dealers I had. They had no issue with it. Next dealer came in, he said, "Oh no, that's a Royal rule, you can't do that." And then the floor came over and he said, "Nah, the other dealer let him do it, it's okay." And then I played a little bit longer, and then he came back and he said, "Okay, I talked to my supervisor, and no, it is a Royal rule, has to be increments of 5." And he said, "I'll let you finish this session, but this is the last time." And I said, "Fine, just color me up and I'll leave." And at that point I was up 1 unit, so I left with $25. And so then I started thinking about it, that night. I'm like, all right, well, if I go down to a $50 lay for $25, and I change my don't pass to $24 instead of $25, then I can still make it up that way. And so I went down there and I talked to them. I said, I don't really understand, is it $5 only on the lay? Is it $5 on my don't pass? Is it $5 on my lay odds? Where does that $5 apply? And I said, from my point of view, on the don't pass, as long as it's greater than the minimum table limit, then it shouldn't matter what that number is, because you're just going to pay it or take it. There's no math involved in doing that one. I said, on the lay odds, as long as the lay odds, are appropriate, i.e., pay, 2 to 3 on a 5 or 9, or 1 to 2 on the 4 or 10, and you can easily divide it and figure out what it is, then that shouldn't be a problem either. And they agreed. So anyway, so they let me play that way, and it was definitely more work at the $24 level. I basically gave them 25 for one when I won that one. And I ended up losing $200 on that session. So I walked away with $50 from my $250 bankroll. But at least I was happy that they let me play it that way, and I didn't have really any issue with the loss. And most of the loss, in that case, I did get knocked off a 4 once, and I was able to get it back with a 7 before a 4 came out. Most of it was just getting hit on the 5 and 9, 6 or 8. and then I got behind, and then I think I was on the 5, and I pressed up my odds on the 5, maybe $75. I don't remember now exactly, but I got whacked on that. 5 came up before 7, so that pretty much torched that session. I think I was down like 175 and change, and then I just gave them the rest of it for a tip. So I ended up down 200 for that session. And then I played one other session. It was before dinner, before a show, and when I got to the table, it was just me and 2 other people. And the one guy on my right, he was at stick left 1. I was kind of in the hook. He had an incredible roll. I mean, incredible. And he was doing this interesting toss where he was holding the dice, setting them to a hard way set, and then he was flipping them over this way to hit the back wall. And man, I don't know what number of rolls he had, but it was flipping incredible. It was impressed the heck out of me. And I'm just sitting there with my member in my hand going, all right, I'm just waiting for you to 7 out so I can take it over and do my little piddly little, don't pass strategy. And I hate that feeling. I really do. So anyway, I played. I got my quarter, hit my 7, and it passed to the guy to the left of me who was basically straight out. And he had an incredible run, but he wasn't setting the dice all. He was just purely random. And he was just hitting point after point, number after number after number. It was just wow. I mean, it just blew me away. How lucky he was with a truly purely random roll. And then after he got 7'd out finally, after I don't know how many rolls, it was a lot of rolls. Then more people started showing up at the table. So it was to the point where it was just going to take too long for them to come around to me. I wasn't going to get another turn, so I just cashed out, and I was up 25 on that one, 1 unit. So that was that session, and I think I had one more session, and it was a pretty brutal one. I think I was up 2 units at one point, and then just point after point, and it was mostly 5s and 9s, some 6s and 8s. I did get knocked off a 4 finally, and I went out on my lay odds, and I got knocked off of that because the 4 came up again before a 7. So I pretty much torched that whole 250. I think I walked away with $12 on that one. I did not leave him a tip on that one. So overall, I had $500 to play with, $250 with my buy-in, and I had 3 sessions, maybe 4 sessions, and I walked away down 340. I did play one poker tournament, which was 150. I lost that one. I got knocked out like in 5th, I believe. But anyway, so for craps, playing this strategy, I was down 340. And, I posted one comment, and Dr. Don't Pass 1 commented back, and he's right, that it really was a small sample size, so you really can't read anything into that. And I agree. I do agree with that. So I still believe in the math of the strategy, but it's very painful, losing that much when you only have the 500 to play with. So that was not, it wasn't fun, right? It's never fun when you're losing, honestly. If you're totally honest. I mean, is it understandable? Is it expectable? Yes. So, but is it fun? No, it's not fun. Anyway, so I think it was just before I left, or just after I left, Waylon had put out the can you not see, and can you not see with the recovery 6 and 8, which is Dr. Don't Pass 1's thing. I didn't even watch that one because I don't believe that the 6 and 8 is a good recovery method. And then Waylon's can you not see, basically he takes down his don't pass on the 6 and 8, which you can't do. You can take it down to the table minimum, but you can't take it off. And then if you're the shooter, if you're not the shooter, you can. But but again, there's no mathematical reason to remove the 6 and 8, right? Agree that the 6 and 8 get hit more often because they are the more prevalent number, right? 5 ways to roll both the 6 and 8 versus the 6 ways to roll the 7. So you're going to see them more often. You're going to get knocked off by those more often. But mathematically, over that long run, and everybody uses that, the long run. Well, what is a long run? I mean, what is a statistically significant number? I don't know, but it's a lot more than what we see in a typical session or 2 or 3. So his philosophy is, well, when you get knocked off of your lay, or you get knocked off your don't pass, it's always a 6 and 8. And I said, no, it's not always a 6 and 8. I can tell you from my recent experience, I got knocked off on the 5 and 9 more than I got knocked off on the 6 and 8. So again, you are a 6 to 5 favorite, 6 to 5 favorite on both the 6 and 8. So you still have the mathematical advantage on both of those. But I agree, I do not like either of those because it's such a slim advantage, and it does seem to play out more so than not in the favor of the house. So I do understand what he's saying, although mathematically there's no reason for it. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna roll it out, and I'm gonna call it Waylon's I've Got a Feeling. I've Got a Feeling, sung to the Beatles song, because that's all it is. At that point, there's no math behind it. It's just, I've got a feeling that I'm going to get clobbered on the 6 and 8. So he doesn't play those. So, and then he will, what else does he do in his strategy? Again, he's using a $2,000 bankroll, which is a good sized bankroll for that strategy. I think you can do it on less. So I would say, I would adjust it to say, if you are on the 6 and 8, just reduce it down to table minimum, whatever the table minimum is. Let's say it's $15. All right, so there's 1,000. There's 1,500. There's 2,000. I think you can do this with 1,000, honestly. There's 2,000. So let's do it with 1,000. So let's put the 500 back. So there's 1,000, and we want 100 in red chips. All right, so that's 900, and there's 100. So there's 1,000. So if I was going to play it, that would be the way that I would play it. So let's roll it out and just see how it goes. I'm not sure whether I want to tweak some of this and keep it. I'm not sure about getting knocked off on the 4, whether you try to be aggressive on that one or whether you just be more conservative on that. The 10, I'm not sure I forget what he was using for and he doesn't keep track of any of the VIG, which I think is, especially at this level, is probably really not realistic, because you definitely going to be at $5 a pop. You're definitely going to be using some of that VIG. All right, so here we go. Coming out, this is Waylon's I Got a Feeling type strategy, and we got an 8, 6, 2, 8. All right, so immediately on that 8, we're going to take down our lay, and he also takes down his DP. So we're going to take down our DP. We'll see we're at a $15 table. We're just going to put the $15 out there because we are rolling. And there's a 5. And I think you could reasonably expect a $500 profit target on this one. That's a 12. 6, 4, 2. Oh, I guess we need to mark the 8, don't we? There we go. And we got another 6. So if you were playing like on a bubble craps machine, which I think this is a good strategy for bubble craps machine, 6, 3, 9, you'd be a $5 don't pass minimum. I don't know how the bubble craps machine works when you want to reduce your don't pass bet. Maybe somebody out there can answer that. I don't know, because that was a 516. I'm not sure how that shows up, whether you can just pull it all down and then put back up another amount. There's our 527 out. Or whether it'll even allow you to do that. But that's one way to get on a $5 table and play the higher limits. All right, so that's going to be off the 8. We're going to get 15 for that. Going to go back out for our $100 don't pass. $100 with a $5, $200 with a $5 big, lay 4. All right, so we're back on the 8. All right, so he's going to take down the lay. Actually, he leaves the lay up, which I do not agree with. So he just leaves the lay up. I don't know if he did that on the 6 or 8 or just some of the other numbers, but it's like, why would you leave it up there and exposed to a 4? That makes no sense to me. Because the 4s do come. Look, there it is, 314. And you're going to get whacked on that a lot more than you're not. So it's like, I don't understand the rationale for that. I wouldn't do it. All right, 8. So we got knocked off our 8. back to even on our DPs, that's fine. Back out for 100, 200, $5 big, coming out. And we got a 9 meter. All right, so now we're on a 9, so we'll leave our $100 DP out there, take our lay down. Now we're looking for big red. And we got an 8. So, I don't know. You know, do I want to change the way I've been doing it? I erased my board. I haven't recorded on my phone. But I guess it depends on how many times you get whacked versus how many times you are successful. And I think we showed in that 30 roll, that was a 516, in that 30 roll series that, you know, we were, you know, I think we were up $1,000 at the end. That's a hard 8. So obviously over the total 30 sessions, that's a 8 again. We were successful. It's just, you know, when you get whacked, boom, 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 especially right out of the gate, you don't even have a chance to make any money. Yeah, it's kind of demoralizing, but again, you got to look at the bigger picture. So that's a 516. And again, mathematically, over time, it's going to do fine. 6, 4, 10. And we got a 9, 6, 3, 9. All right, so we're going to get knocked off of that. We're going to lose 100. So we're down 100. And go back out. Coming out. I mean, and you get whacked on that 5 and 9. Honestly, I got whacked on that more times than the 6 or 8. And it was painful. All right, so we're on a 5. Off on our lay. Going to leave the 100 out there. On the don't pass. And we got a 4. See, you can't leave that 4 out. You can't leave that 4 exposed any longer than you absolutely have to. That's just asking for trouble. 8, 6, 2. 8 again. 6. Hard 6. So, yeah, it was a good trip. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing when I did. You know, and it's making me think I got to maybe rethink my strategy. All right, so there's a 617, so that's going to pay us 100. So we're back to even on that. Back out on the lay. Here we go. So I think as of right now, we're even on everything, right? We should be back to where we were. All right, so there's a 9. Point is 9. So again, we'll leave our DP out there for 100. 3 correct. I also saw a lot of 11s. I got knocked off on several 11s, which was also painful. 8. But again, statistically, I should still have an advantage because the 2 and 3, you know, one way to make a 2, 2 ways to make a 3. There's a 6. So I have 3 chances of winning versus the 11, you know, which is 2 ways to make an 11, only 2 ways of losing technically. So again, over time, that is the better mathematical bet, betting against that 11. That was a 3, easy deucey. 5, 4, 1. All right, looking for big red. 3, 1, 4. You know, I thought about trying to hedge the 4, get knocked off, you know, hedge it with a hard ways. And I was doing that on Windcraft. So there's our 7 out, 4, 3. All right, so that's plus 100. Back out on our lay. Coming out. And we got a 3, so it's a $100 winner for us. Nice. Easy doozy. Thank you. Coming out. And we got a 7, come out 7. All right, so that's going to cost us $5 because we got 200 and 100. So it's a $5 loser. Here we go. And we got a 10, 6, 4. All right, so I don't remember what he did on the 10. I certainly, that, you know, the 10 and the 4 give us the best mathematical advantage. I'm going to at least put $100 out there in odds on the 10. Pays 1 to 2. And we got a 4. And we got a 9, need it. And we got another 9. So again, there's no way to mathematically get more sevens or more twos and threes, but there is a way to mathematically reduce the number of fours based on your set. So I'm wondering whether, it makes sense to, that was a 9, 5, 4, use a set that has fewer fours, like a all seven set, right, with a 6-1 on axis. So you eliminate the ones, so you can't get a 4 via a 3-1, assuming you can keep it on axis, which is a challenge in itself. And so that's a 4-2-6. And then you could also use a hard 4 to hedge the third way to make a 4, right? So technically you could eliminate the 4s, assuming that you could manipulate the dice to keep that 6-1 on axis. And it still keeps your 4, I think it gives you 4 sevens on axis. 4 ways to make a 7. 8, 5, 3, 8. So you are reducing the number of sevens because you're eliminating the 1s and 6s. But you're also eliminating the 4s, which is a really bad number for you. So I think the trade-off is a good one. I have not been able to keep them on axis more than probability. So for me, that doesn't really work. All right, so that's a 5, 2, 7 out. So it's going to pay us 50 for 100 and 100 flat. All right. So where are we at? Let's go one more round and then we'll tally up and see where we are. Coming out. 6, 5, 1. All right, so that's going to be take it down to table minimum. So we're on the 6, off on our lay. And I'm going to go out, assuming we're on a $15 table. Here we go. Looking for big red. We got an 8. So I like the fact that you're still betting with the 7 because you have money out, you have money in play. You're not all the way down. Because I've done it before. There's a 10. I've done it before where I've actually tried to put on a place bet, and my DP bet, and the dealers do not like that one, and the box doesn't like that one either. So that's not a good option. And you can't obviously take it all the way down. There's a hard 4, but you can take it down to the table minimum. It's not a contract bet, but if you're the roller, if you're the shooter, then you have to have at least a table minimum out there. 10. But I like the fact that we're reducing our exposure to the 6 and 8. So I think in that respect, he definitely has an idea. There's an 8. Again, mathematically, we should still be the favorite in the long run, air quotes. But that long run can be a lot longer than our bankroll can hold up. There's a 5. So, and I think the object, there's a 6 right there. 4, 2, 6, so that's a point hit. So in that case, it worked out for us. We're only going to lose 15. Back out. Here we go. And we got a 7. Come out 7. So that's going to cost us $5. I like Dr. Don't Pass's idea on making money even on the 7s. I think that's a good idea also. And I was doing that earlier at the low denomination. All right, so it's a 6 again. So we're off on our lay, off on our DP, back out for 15. Here we go. 9. And I was doing it with a $15, so minimum DP with a $40 lay. 4, hard 4. So when I got knocked off, I made $4. Was it by a 7? Knocked off by a 7. You would make $4, and that's also a good feeling, right? To be banking a little bit, even with the 7s. That was a 6, 4, 10. 4, 1, 5. So I still fully believe in the strategy. I'm certainly open to tweaking it to try to make it better. What does better mean? I don't know. 5, 3, 2, 5. You're gonna get whacked. Every strategy you're gonna get whacked. There's our 5, 1, 6. So that worked out for us again. We're only gonna lose 15. 100. Don't pass $200. Lay 4. Boxcars. And we got an 8. So So there's just going to be a lot of time when you're on the 6 and 8 when you're not playing anything other than the table minimum. Hoping for a 7, but if you get whacked, it's not life ending or series session ending, I should say. All right, so there's our 7. We're going to get 15 back on that one. All right, back in our rack. 20, 100 and 200. $5 Scott, not 25. There we go. $5 vig coming out. And we got a 6. So again, we're on the 6. All right, what else can I say about the trip? So that's basically it. I mean, the dealers are all friendly. They're mostly Eastern Bloc, not Ukrainian, but Romanian, but all very friendly, very nice. And the box is the same. They actually don't have a box person. They have a floor person because it looks like the dealers handle the box themselves, which is a little bit different. All right, there's our 7 out. So we're going to get 15 for that one. Back in our rack, $100, $200 coming out. So I think with the 6, there's an 11. So that's going to be a painful loser for us. So 100 down. I think with the 6 and 8 playing it that way, you're just going to get a lot of churn, and in the end, it should work itself out. Come out 7, it's going to cost us 5. There we go. Looking for a 2 or 3. Got an 8, 68. All right, so we're on the 8. Off here, back out for our minimum bet. For a 7. Got a 10. And an 11. But anyway, so, as far as the $5 extra, I had several different dealers telling me, oh yeah, no, that's a Royal Caribbean 11. Royal Caribbean rule, it's got to be, $5 more, or in the case of your late, $10 more. And the last day they were saying, yeah, that also applies to your don't pass and your, and I tried to reason with them. I said, well, if I came to the table and I only have $12, you're saying I can't put $12 on the don't pass bar because it has to be in increments of $5 more. So if the minimum is 10, it has to be $15. I said, that doesn't make sense. I said, that was a 6, by the way. So I don't know. It just seemed like there's a lot of confusion. Obviously, people are not pushing the envelope on that rule because, I definitely was one that, that was a 7, was asking that question, and they were not that sure about it. Some would let me play it, some would not. So just don't be surprised, is all I guess is the bottom line to that one. So there's an 8 again. 8, so we're off on our lay. Back on our table minimum. Down on our DP to table minimum. Looking for a 7. Got a 9. So unless you're playing a $50 lay or a $60 lay, just be prepared that it'll get questioned. 4, 3, 7. Out. All right, so there's 15. Back out on our 100 don't pass. I keep wanting to reach for that green one. There we go. $200 lay 4. We're on a 9. All right. So we're up there. We're going to take down our lay, leave our don't pass out. And we got an 8. Yeah, I was looking forward to the Rose Parade today, but I guess it's tomorrow. We got a 4. And we got an 8. And we got a 6. But I would say, my results were consistent. And there's a 9. All right, so we're going to lose that 100. So now we're getting knocked down on our hundreds a little bit here. All right, so we're back out on our $100 don't pass, $200 lay 4. Coming out. Hey, there's a 3, finally. Need a couple of those. All right, so we'll get 100 back there. Looking for two craps. But I would say, you know, the results on my table I think are fairly consistent with what I saw on the boat, which is always good, right? You want to practice like you play. All right, so we're on a 5. We're going to leave our don't pass 100 out there, looking for a 7. Got a 6. Got a 9. And again, for Waylon to say, you know, say that about the 6 and 8, it's like, I don't know. Why would you, if you're going to do that with the 6 and 8, why not do it for the 5 and 9? I mean, there's not that much mathematical difference. To me, there's enough mathematical difference that I'm going to leave my $100 out there. For the 6 and 8, again, because there's 5 ways each to hit either one of those. There's a yo. And they do seem to hit more. Well, they have to hit more. They don't seem to hit more. They do hit more often, right? Because there's 5 ways to roll them. So that's to be expected statistically. There's a 6, 5, 1. But again, mathematically, in the long run, you should end up, or you will end up winning more of those than you lose. But it does create more. There's a 9, 6, 3, 9. It does create more variance in the short games because of it. So by doing that to eliminate especially at the $100 level, I think that probably makes sense. But it's really just a feeling. I got a feeling. That's Waylon's. I got a feeling, because there's no math behind it, none whatsoever. The math would say leave it out there. 415. Point hit. All right, so we're going to lose that 100. Back out. Just like that. I mean, the 5s and 9s, I was getting clobbered with 5s and 9s. 8 again. All right, back to our table minimum. 7 out. All right. I'm pretty sure we're down quite a bit still, so I'm not going to bother to check it just yet. If we can get up another couple hundred, then I'll check it. All right, coming out. Yo, 11, that's another 100 down. What you can do, another 11, son of a biscuit. That is painful at this level. 7, come out 7. It's going to cost us $5. We're just hemorrhaging money now. 6, 4, 2, 6. So we're not going to play that. I'm going to go back out for a table minimum. So we're still playing it, just at a minimal level. My light flashing there. 3, 1, 4. All right, so what was I on? A 6, I think. Here's a 10. 6. All right, so we're going to lose that. Back out for our 100. $200 away. And we got a 10, 6, 4, 10. All right, since I've been getting whacked, I think at this point, and 4 and 10 are the only ones that are, you know, again, because we have the greatest advantage, are the only ones I would do this on. But I'm going to go $200 lay odds. So that'll pay me 100 on the 10. You got a 7 out. So if you're going to recover, don't recover with a 6 and 8. Try to recover with a 4 and 10. Those are the ones that give you the best mathematical odds. So if you're going to push it on the 4 and 10. Because I pushed it on the 5, and I got whacked on the cruise ship. You know, even though 5 is better than the 6 or 8, it's not as good as the 4 or 10. You know, with that 2-to-1 advantage. All right, so we're going to get 100 for our 200 and 100 flat. All right, here we go. Coming out. 7, come out 7. It's going to cost us a nickel. 3 craps. That's going to get us 100. That's nice. All right. How about a 2 craps? Another 3. I'll take it. Makes up for those 11s he beat us over the head with just a few minutes ago. All right. Whoa! Dice off the table. That was one thing. I did not get dice off the table one time, and I didn't see dice off the table one time in all my sessions, which is really a rarity. Normally they're flying. All right. Oh, and I thought the other interesting thing about their table. All right, so we're on the 9, off on our leg. Keyword don't pass out there. Was where you would normally see the big 6 and 8 right here in this corner. They had no 7, so they had the 4-1 no 7 or any 7 prop bet right there, which I thought was interesting. So it's a self-service bet. 4-1-5. That's different. Normally you don't see that. That's the first layout I've seen like that. 2 craps. 8. And it was interesting. The woman that was playing next to me in that last session, I'm like, because she put it down and she hit it, and I said, yeah, that was very fortunate timing on your part. She goes, well, you know it's coming. She's absolutely right. You know it's coming. The question is when. So, you know, and then as I kept hitting my goddamn point and getting knocked off, and then she didn't understand why I was passing the dice for 2-6. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I didn't even have enough for the minimum bet. So they're like, what? You know, because I just kept hitting the goddamn point, and no matter what, 5-1-6. I was killing myself and making money for them. So that was, again, not fun. Again, that was a 6. I'm relying on probability to show me that 7. 6, 4, 10. 5, 3, 2, 5. All right. 6, 4, 2, 6. What else can I think of about the table? 12-foot table, standard, both of them. Medium bouncy, kind of like mine. 4, 3, 7 out. All right, good. So we get off the 9 that time. All right, so let's see where we're at. There's 500. There's 1,000. What do we start with? We started with a 1,000, right? All right, so there's 25. There's 50. Gets it. Yep. All right, so there's our 1,000. 1,000. So we made 400. 455 right now. So that's not bad. I mean, it works, and I think that there's, I don't know. I can't say there's a mathematical reason, but there is definitely, you know, Waylon has a lot of experience on live tables, much more than I probably ever will in my lifetime, craps playing lifetime. So I defer to his experience, you know, saying that you know, he sees the don't pass getting knocked off by the 6 and 8 a lot more frequently than you would expect. Again, mathematically, there's no reason to take them down, but I agree with him, and that's why I've always said, you'll see in all my videos, I hate that damn 6 and 8, but I keep playing it because mathematically, you know, there's a reason to play it. But, you know, I embrace Waylon's feeling on the 6 and 8. I think that's not a bad way to play it because it preserves your bankroll until you get on the higher probability 4, 5, 9, or 10, where you do have a better advantage, and you try to take advantage of that. I would say, you know, when you're on the 10, you definitely want to do your don't pass odds or your lay odds to try to take advantage of that advantage. When you get knocked off on the 4, don't go crazy and trying to get it all back. Maybe the same $100, maybe $200, you know, on the 4 for don't pass odds to try to get that back. But you don't have to get it back in one shot. I mean, I think that's the takeaway on this one is if you get knocked off the 4 for your $200, just put $100 out there. You're only going to get $150 back if you win it, but if you lose it, you're only losing another $200. Certainly with a $2,000 bankroll, that's reasonable. For even a $1,000 bankroll, it's still recoverable playing the normal way without putting that much more at risk. Anyway, Happy New Year to everybody. And that was basically it on my trip report. And we'll figure out what we want to do going forward as far as another series. Maybe we'll do Waylon's I've Got a Feeling series and see how that does over, say, 30 sessions again. What do you guys think? Leave me your comments. All right, again, Happy New Year. Hope everybody has a great 2023. See you back at the table in a bit. Scott from Paradise Crabs, out.